balls from golf courses, but everybody else was like looking in the bush and looking in the ditches for golf balls. I'm like, screw that. They're all in the pond, and nobody's going into the pond. So I would go into the ponds and crawl around and pick them up with my toes. You just pick them up with both feet, and you can't do it on stage. And you get the golf balls, and you just throw them in your bathing suit trunks, and when you're done, you got a couple hundred of them. But the problem is that people didn't all want all the golf balls, so I just packaged them. I'm like 12, right? I packaged them up 3 ways. I had the Pinnacles, the DDHs, and the really cool ones back then. Those sold for $2 each. And then I had all the good ones that didn't look crappy. They were 50 cents each. And then I'd sell 50 at a time of all the crappy ones, and they could use those for practice balls. And I sold sunglasses when I was in school to all the kids in high school. This is what really kind of gets everybody hating you, is because you're trying to extract money from all your friends all the time. But it paid the bills. So I sold lots and lots of sunglasses. And then when the school shut me down, the school actually called me into the office and told me I couldn't do it. So I went to the gas stations and I sold lots of them to the gas stations and had the gas stations sell them to their customers. And that was cool because then I had retail outlets. And I think I was 14. And then I paid my entire way through first year university at Carleton by selling wineskins door to door. You know that you can hold a 40-ounce bottle of rum and 2 bottles of Coke in a wineskin? So what, right? Yeah, but you know what? You stuff that down your shorts. When you go into a football game, you can get booze in for free. Everybody bought them. Supply, demand, big opportunity. I also branded it, so I sold them for 5 times the normal cost. I had our university logo on it. You know, we teach our kids, and we buy them games, but why don't we get them games if they're entrepreneurial kids that kind of nurture the traits that you need to be entrepreneurs? Why don't you teach them not to waste money? I remember being told to walk out into the middle of the street in Banff, Alberta, because I'd thrown a penny out in the street. My dad said, go pick it up. He said, I worked too damn hard for my money. I'm not going to see you ever waste a penny. And I remember that lesson to this day. Allowances teach kids the wrong habits. Allowances by nature are teaching kids to think about a job. An entrepreneur doesn't expect a regular paycheck. Allowance is breeding kids at a young age to expect a regular paycheck. That's wrong for me if you want to raise entrepreneurs. What I do with my kids now, I've got 2, 9 and 7, is I teach them to walk around the house and the yard looking for stuff that needs to get done. Come to me and tell me what it is, or I'll come to them and say, here's what I need done. And then you know what we do? We negotiate. They go around looking for what it is, but then we negotiate on what they're going to get paid. And then they don't have a regular check, but they have more opportunities to find more stuff, and they learn the skill of negotiating, and they learn the skill of finding opportunities as well. You breed that kind of stuff. Each of my kids has 2 piggy banks. 50% of all the money that they earn or get gifted, 50% goes in their house account, 50% goes in their toy account. Anything in their toy account they can spend on whatever they want. The 50% that goes in their house account every 6 months goes to the bank. They walk up with me. Every year, all the money in the bank goes to their broker. Both my 9 and 7-year-olds have a stockbroker already. But I'm teaching them to force that savings habit. It drives me crazy that 30-year-olds are saying, maybe I'll start contributing to my RRSP now. Shit, you've missed 25 years. Like, you can teach those habits to young kids when they don't even feel the pain yet. Don't read them bedtime stories every night. Maybe 4 nights out of the week read them bedtime stories, and 3 nights of the week have them tell stories. Why don't you sit down with kids and give them 4 items, a red shirt, a blue tie, a kangaroo, and a laptop, and have them tell a story about those 4 things. My kids do that all the time. It teaches them to sell, it teaches them creativity, it teaches them to think on their feet. Just do that kind of stuff and have fun with it. Get kids to stand up in front of groups and talk, even if it's just stand up in front of their friends and do plays and have speeches. Those are entrepreneurial traits that you want to be nurturing. Show the kids what bad customers or bad employees look like. Show them the grumpy employees. When you see grumpy customer service, point that out to them. Say, by the way, that guy's a crappy employee. And say, these ones are good ones. If you go into a restaurant and you have bad customer service, show them what bad customer service looks like. Right? We have all these lessons in front of us that we don't take those opportunities. We teach kids to go get a tutor. Imagine if you actually took all the kids' junk that's in the house right now, all the toys that they're outgrown 2 years ago, and said, why don't we start selling some of this on Craigslist and Kijiji? And they can actually sell it and learn how to find scammers when they get email offers come in. They can come into your account or a sub-account or whatever, but teach them how to fix the price, guess the price, pull up the logos or the photos, teach them how to do that kind of stuff and make money. Then the money they get, 50% goes in their house account, 50% goes in their toy account. My kids love this stuff. Some of the entrepreneurial traits you got to nurture in kids: attainment, tenacity, leadership, introspection, interdependence, values. All these traits you can find in young kids and you can help nurture them. Look for that kind of stuff. There's 2 traits that I want you to also look out for that we don't kind of get out of their system. Don't medicate kids for attention deficit disorder unless it is really, really freaking bad. The same with the whole things on mania and stress and depression. Like, unless it is so clinically brutal, man, bipolar disorder is nicknamed the CEO disease. When Steve Jurvetson and Jim Clark and Jim Barksdale have all got it, and they built Netscape, imagine if they were given Ritalin, we wouldn't have that stuff, right? Al Gore would have really had to have invented the internet. These skills are the skills that we should be teaching in the classroom as well as everything else. I'm not saying don't get kids to want to be lawyers, but how about getting entrepreneurship to be ranked right up there with the rest of them as well?
Going back to that handout that we looked at, exercise 1-4, what are you passionate about? Now, hopefully you kind of thought about some things as you were watching the video. But in thinking about a business to work in, it's good to start with something that you like. We will use this exercise as a way to think about your hobbies and interest areas. In other words, things about which you're passionate. You will keep this exercise for use in the next module. So I just want you to kind of think here, because next module we're going to actually start brainstorming some business ideas based on what your passion is. So what you're going to do is you're going to fill in those 3 questions, and then you will find the next video in the series, and it's going to be Module 1, Video 5.